Welcome to the Permaculture Training Center in Bupe, Ghana.
Our names are Terry and Amy Ruff, and we moved here to the northern region, northern part of Ghana, to plant churches and help with a holistic approach to people that are living here in extreme poverty.
How does the farm connect to that?
The idea is to help people with living fences, because most people just let their sheep roam like here, and it's so close to the highway that many of them die on the highway. You can see those sheep over there running right now. And so we're trying to show them how they can contain their sheep and at the same time provide to build the soil, provide seeds and seedlings, and what we're going for actually is a food forest where things grow, fruit from the tree, vines, spinach, or various plants growing up the tree, surface like soybeans, corn, things on the surface, and then yams, potatoes, things like that on the ground underneath the surface, and just to show them of a variety of things that can be done. They have a lot of problems with burning here at the end of the wet season, and so what we're trying to do is teach them, let the grasses and things go back into the soil, and there's a number of other things. Using cow manure, sheep manure, they have plenty of it.
Yeah, where are we going?
Well, what we put it, this is what we call avenue trees. These are acacia trees, and we'll keep topping them until they fill out nice and provide a shade. We have them every 10 feet down the way. And then in here we have rows of moringa, which is, a lot of people refer to it as a miracle plant, and it provides a lot of nutrients. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the seeds, you can press the oil out of the seeds. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with it. Or you can just cut it like we've been doing and let it go to the ground and go back into the soil.
It adds nitrogen, is that what you said?
Wait, it adds nitrogen, but all kinds of nutrients. The moringa is just full of a variety of nutrients. And we're using a variety of things to create fences, living fences, we refer to them. And then interspersed are fruit trees. That right there is a citrus. I don't know if it's an orange or a tangerine until the fruit comes, and on down the way we have star fruit, we have mangoes, other citrus growing up here as well. Over there, we'll get to that later, but bananas and plantains, things like that. We do the bushes primarily just to provide fencing material, because all you have to do is just cut a small piece, stick it in the ground, and if you keep it watered you can only do this during the rainy season. If you keep it watered, then it will grow like this, and you have we have like 3 or 4 types of bushes, so that they'll have a variety to use.
And how long y'all been doing this?
We've been on this property for 3.5 years.
You can see the rows. So when we cut the moringa and throw it on the ground, it's sort of like walking into a forest where you have all kinds of things that are decomposing and going back into the soil. This is another kind of spinach right here, and it's called chaya. We get a lot of these things from Echo that operates out of Florida, and their objective is to stamp out hunger. And you cook that for 5 minutes and pour off the water, and it's very nutritious. That's a star fruit tree. That back in there. Right here is a mango tree back in there. I don't know if you can see it. Sun's shining pretty brightly today, but of course the moringa also provides shade because the sun is just unbearably hot. You have some hot pepper plants growing back in here. Here's another citrus tree. Also use a tree called lucina, and when you cut the animals love it. So when we cut the branches to feed the sheep and goats at night, it sends nitrogen into the soil. Every time you cut it, nitrogen going in the soil, and it provides this here is lemongrass. And when you cut it, it gives out a very strong lemon smell. It makes great lemon tea, natural lemon tea. So there's just a lot of things we do. But primarily we use it for insect repellent. Oh, and you got some bougainvillea. This is papaya. This is a small papaya tree. A bigger one. It doesn't have papayas on it yet, but this right, and this anyway, what they call that? That's the flower that you like so much.
Bougainvillea.
They got bougainvillea. See the flowers there, bright purple flowers. Over here we have basil, sweet basil. There's several kinds of basil, which is really, it's nothing more than a weed, but we raise rabbits and they love this plant, so we let it grow and pick it so that we can feed it with the plants that they like. We have intentions of when we get adequate water, we have intentions of keeping tanks like this full and having drip irrigation more during the dry season, so that we can farm year round and show the local people. This is we hand dug well. We've got 4 or 5 of those, and it's during the rainy season it provides water, but during the dry season it totally dries up. So we can pump water out of that either up into the tank or just directly onto the plants. That's a guava. This is a guava tree. Got a few tomatoes growing around, and lots and lots of moringa and lucina. Right now it seems shady, but in the hot season, this will be a lot of these leaves will drop. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and so it still allows us to grow things. It's enough light, but if you have it with no shade, the plants can't make it because it's extreme heat. Here is an example of what we try to get growing up the tree. That's spinach, another variety. This one you can eat fresh, and so you can have it in salads, or you can cook it. I like it my eggs, or just cooked on the stove. That's another hot pepper plant. So you can see he's got spinach growing all along the base over there, and it will climb the fence. There's a papaya tree with lots of papayas. They're not ripe yet. This is our house, our training center. It's a combination. We can keep people on the right side. There's 4 bedrooms, and some of them are set up with bunk beds to be able to handle 8 women or 8 men in one room. And then the center section is a living room training area, and then we have the kitchen and garage down on the end, and our bedroom and offices in the back. Here's some more of the basil. It's a great spice. I love basil for pesto and things. You got a few cherry tomatoes growing here. This is cinnamon basil. It's a different kind of basil. This is insect repellent. What we call that? Citronella. And again, if you cut it, it helps deter the mosquitoes. The moringa, occasionally you get a tree to produce amazing amounts of moringa. These are all pods, and they're full of seeds. There's like 1, 2, 3, about probably a dozen seeds, maybe 10 seeds in this. When that gets drier, it'll be brittle, and we crack it open and harvest the seeds, dry them, and then everywhere we plant one of those, you'll get a moringa tree. And so we can provide seeds again for the villagers. You can eat the leaves. When these are green, before the seeds really are formed, it almost tastes like asparagus. It's very good for you. The same way with the leaves. A lot of people drink tea. Some people dry the leaves and grind them up and put them on their food because the tree has so much nutrition. There's another citrus tree, but this is like our aloe garden. All of this is aloe, and of course it works well for burns, but you can also digest it. Some people just take some of the aloe juice and drink it for if they have constipation and things. It'll help.
My grandmother used to drink about a gallon a week, and she lived to be 100. So
yeah. They say there's a lot of benefits to that. And you can see the fence, the living fence. We have jatropha, which is a plant that animals won't eat. They avoid it because they know it makes them sick. It's not good for human consumption. And the idea is to intermix it with a number of plants to create an impenetrable fence. If the animals inside, they can't get out. The animals outside, they can't get in. But a lot of this is decomposing ground nut shells, or what in the U.S. we call them peanuts. And after they harvest the peanuts out of the shell, we'll just throw the ground nut shells on the ground, and it just all goes back to soil. This is okra, another citrus. This is what they call pigeon. I believe it's pigeon pea. It's planted out. That's a pigeon pea. It's another nitrogen fixing. So you can see that this is very rocky, but all these will keep depositing their leaves, also the nitrogen going in what soil is there, and eventually there'll be topsoil through here. Right there is what the chaya, the spinach, the big bush, we just take and cut it into small sticks, stick it in the ground, and then they grow into big bushes and provide a lot of food. We got several planted here, and all those will be big bushes. There's another one here, another one, there's 2 or 3 here. So it looks like they're planning on this being a place where we harvest a lot of spinach. But for the villagers, if they like it, then we can cut a whole bush and cut it in little sticks and take it to them, and where they plant it, if they keep it watered until it gets established, they'll have plants for you. This is lemon basil. That's just another kind of basil. And then we have just some shade trees that we're trying to get growing. Keep in mind, this was all level ground, no trees, except for the one behind you and that big tree over there. Everything else was just leveled. So what you see is all happened within 3.5 years.
Wow. Now what's this down here on the ground?
This is a plant that repels snakes, and we're trying to get starts of that going all over because there's a lot of snakes. Can you get the turkeys?
All right.
We have right now 5 turkeys. One's sitting on a nest, so hopefully we'll have more turkeys soon. But and birds are starting to come in. That's what I mean by a food forest, a place that's shady and provides nutrients. And
so would you say your property was just, from like, you've made it an oasis, so to speak?
That's what we're trying. Like a lot of permaculture people, basically permaculture is trying to take every available resource, and create a sustainable agricultural system and trying to follow what they see God doing in forests and things like that. You don't have to fertilize, you don't have to water, you don't have to do any of that in the forest. Well, if you follow God's methods, it works well anywhere, even in a dry a culture where 6 months out of the year there's no rain at all.
I think they're walking out on you.
Yeah, this is all spinach. Now there might be some squash or cucumbers started in here, but this is that one spinach you saw out there. Then this is a local spinach you can eat fresh. You don't have to cook it. And then, but I have like four different types of spinach. Trying to get some coconut trees growing. That's what those are there. This is a cashew tree. This is a cocoa tree. But I don't think the cocoa trees are going to make it because they grow better in the south. I'm surprised.
How'd
it's still
this
alive.
pond come to be?
Well, we had, during the rainy season, there was always about 2 or 3 inches of water, and it was impossible to walk through there. And so we said, well, if we get a road grader out here, and he grades this deeper, it's about 4 or 5 feet deep. You can see the fish.
They're getting excited.
We haven't even put any food in there, and they're here ready. 3 times a day, one of our guys comes out here and throws food out there, and the fish go crazy.
Now, is this all one type of fish?
Yeah, it's all tilapia. They really like their food.
Look like piranhas.
Yeah, they do. They're everywhere. We had started out with 350 fish. They were supposed to be all males, but there obviously are some females in there because we have some baby fish. So next year I'll work at whoever I get the fish from, making sure that they're truly all male, because I bought the amount of fish that will grow to full maturity within the rainy season.
Maybe you're a horse visitor over there.
The horse is missions. We have a mission, I should say. We have partners on our team, and they have a daughter that loves horses, and so they built that, and they raised the horse out here, and she comes out here and rides.
Now, are horses indigenous to this area?
All I know is that when the Gonja came into this area, that's the tribe that we're working with. They rode down from Mali, which is further north in Africa, on horses, and used horses in warfare. So they conquered a lot of the land of Ghana because of their fact that they had horses. They didn't have any way of defending against that.
That's interesting. I need to get my history book for that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I hear we got rabbits too.
Yeah. Glad you reminded me. I would have forgot. We just added on because rabbits multiply pretty quickly.
That's what I hear.
What are you going to get one, or are you going to
Not me.
So what is their,
See, this is that plant I told you they like eating. And he's got water, and then they'll bring out dry food. And you have any small ones? So, and so this is a he?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way back to show them the animal part of what we're doing, we ran across this anthill, and it's termite mound, and we have a lot of those. Chickens love the termites inside, so sometimes we'll take and dig into it and throw the dirt out, and it's just full of tunnels full of termites, and they peck away.
How many acres do you have here?
We have 24 plots. So is it 24 plots? And I think the best I can figure out is close to 8 acres.
All right, let's see the animals.
What we're doing is in the middle of the property, we've created a place for a chicken house, which is right there. We keep it under shade net, and then that's the goat and sheep house. And we can, if we need to, we can add on other houses. We keep them in there at night. He's making the noise. So here's the ducks. The idea is eventually we'll have enough.
So none of them have food.
Yes.
So they're looking for food.
So this one. So we have child.
New babies?
Yes.
Ha! We'll go see. So
Here's the rest of my sheep.
where's the and go?
They think they're going to get fed. This big one here with horns. That was the one that was stolen. You can see there's places where they can nest and get out of the weather. Then this house, they can get in there. And we put the netting up to keep the snakes out, because snakes love, well, keep them cooler, but snakes love the eggs, and a lot of chickens have died trying to protect their eggs. So this is one of the turkeys back in there on a nest of eggs.
So if the snakes don't eat them and everybody else leaves them alone, you'll have some young turkeys
We'll have
running.
more young turkeys. Yeah.
And she's got 5 eggs?
Let me try to explain. You can see the fence, but then there's a fence going across the property, right where that middle, where all the chickens and animal houses are. This is one quadrant.
Come on.
And then on the other side of that fence is about as much land. That's another quadrant. And then on the other side of the circle over there, there's another quadrant. And then over here, there's another quadrant. And the idea is managed grazing. So we take and we let the goats and sheep into.
Now, why won't the others go out?
They look
They were just born. Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So
Different moms.
they're I think they're just 2 weeks. So what I was trying to explain is the idea is the goats and sheep will control where they are. They won't be out on the road getting run over. They can go and graze like the top of the grass, and the sheep will eat right down to the roots. So you can't leave them in one place forever. And so you manage when one area is being eaten down, then you go to the next area, and then to the next area. You just keep rotating around these 4 quadrants, and we're trying to model that as an idea for the local people so that they can grow healthier goats and keep them from being. You've seen the gist of what we're trying to do, and it's for the benefit. We hope to be able to give goats and sheep to help different families get started, because the sheep and goats provide sort of income for for school fees, and so if they can be sold at any time, and so we hope that will help end up in the future helping the villagers.
Now, how long have you been in Ghana?
Yeah.
Oh, in Ghana we've been here 6.5 years. We lived 3 years in Tamale, so 3.5 here.
Okay, and where do you plan to lay your head for your last rest?
We want to die here. This is our retirement. We want to burn out for the Lord, and so this is the biggest challenge in ministry we've ever taken on. But we pray it'll bring the greatest glory for God.
And just for people knowing that you're not just Farmer John, how many baptisms have you done this year alone?
This year we've had 188 baptisms, and the beautiful thing about it is that they're all in small discipleship groups, learning how to evangelize and disciple people in villages surrounding them. So that's why it's going the way it is. There's a lot of small churches being planted. The goal is a house church at least in every village, because they're very open.
So for the people back home in the USA or wherever this tape may go, what would you say to them to either help or just a word of thought or a concern or just something for peace of mind? What encouragement could you give to the world for this?
I would say don't buy into, I think, the American dream to the point that you think life is all about you getting to a point where you can retire and play golf and whatever the rest of your life. I'm not against that, but there are starving people that don't know the Lord, and God deserves to share His glory with all His creation, and it's not going to happen if everybody focuses on the most important thing is to retire. I want to retire here. Actually, my retirement is going to be in heaven, and my reward is going to be in heaven, and until that point, my job is not done.
And Amy, what about you? I mean, You're married to this man. How long you been married to this man?
42 years.
42 years. God bless you. Now, what would you have people back home to know?
Just know that we're created to bring glory to the God the Father, and we give Him glory by living our lives and sharing the good news with others, discipling others to make disciples of others, so that every tribe, tongue, and nation will be around the throne for eternity, glorifying God and giving Him praise for all time.
Keep in mind too, this is a Muslim, 80% Muslim area. The people in the village, they're wide open. They just need food and water and somebody that will love on them. And when you do those things, they're open to hearing the gospel and other things that you have for them. So, and also, I'd encourage, if there are any retired folk, it's not an easy area to live, but we have plenty of things that we could use your help with. Not just the financial side of things, but things like gardening and medical, and just a host of things. Clean water solutions, a host of things that can be done. And we'll probably be taking some pictures of what we're doing in the villages through some of our teammates. But people come all the time to help with those types of projects as well.
Well, Terry, Amy Ruff, this is September 9th, 2015. We thank you very much, and God bless you both.
God bless
Amen.
you.
Thank you.